how to go about organizing your folders. As Scott mentioned, the traditional way or up to this point has been you either have to use your side arrow and go through the pages. So each page will hold 20 forms, and you have to go through each page, or remember what you named the form and type it out in the search or the filter block. Now you have the ability to click on add. Well, there's two parts to this. So one is actually creating your folders. If you are starting out from scratch and you want to go ahead and create a couple of folders to move forms into, you can start by creating your folder. So click on the new folder. I'm going to title this folder Demo Portal Demo, because I have a whole bunch of templates from the last couple of weeks where we've been building out different forms and portals. So I'm going to call this my portal demo folder, and we'll put a description in here. October office hours, just to have some sort of a description. Add. Now you can see here is my new folder. From this point, you now have these check boxes over on the far right-hand side, and you can go through and select all of the forms that you would like to move into a specific folder. So I'm going to click everything that says 1029. And I'm also going to catch this 1022 right here. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 forms. Now I'm going to click on actions, and you can see we give you a total in parentheses. It's small, probably for what you guys can see, but there's a total there. And from here, you can say move or you can delete. So you can either choose to do a mass delete of forms. You also have the ability to activate or deactivate those forms. So I could say deactivate. And now if they are red or they have the red X, they're not, the links in your QuickBase will not work. Those forms have been deactivated, or they will work, but the form is not going to show up. But let's go back to actions. We're going to reactivate those forms. And you can see they all instantly have a green checkbox now. And I'm going to move them. So once I click move, you can see all the current folders that I have, and I'm going to click move to my portal demo folder. Move here. Now, if I click on my portal demo folder, here is all 8 of my forms. Did I count that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep. So here are all 8. Now, if you decide, oops, I grabbed one, didn't mean to grab this one, you can check it, go back to actions, and you can move it back to your home. Move here. And now if I go out, if I click on home, so right now this, no different than if you were working in on your desktop in your computer storage structure, just like it starts to span out and you can see, hey, here's home, here's the folder I'm currently working in. You can click back on home. And here is that template that I moved back out to the home page. So I'll just go ahead and move it back into my folder. and now it's back. You do also have the ability to get into, I believe we can do subfolders. I didn't test that out yet, Scott.
I think so.
We're going to just test it right now.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
now I am in my I'm still in my portal folder, and I have a subfolder. So this really does allow builders the capability to organize and manage. So you can organize, for those of you who have multiple apps, you can organize your forms by apps. And then within that app folder, you can have subfolders based off of, your tables. If you have some tables that have multiple forms, maybe a submit form and an edit form, if that kind of organization is necessary and helpful, you now have the ability to do that, and get away from just having to scroll endlessly, if you will, or remember exactly what you named a form. So that is the file structure. A couple of things that I will add. So in the past, we've discussed beside each form is an icon that specifies, is it static or is it dynamic? So if it's static, you're going to see more or less like the picture icon. And if it's dynamic, then you're going to see, not real, I don't even really know what to call that icon, but you're going to see a different icon to represent dynamic. You do have the ability to sort or group, I should say. So right beside title to the left, there is a drop down arrow. This does not have a title, and we discussed it earlier in our development meeting that we will be adding a title here and making this drop down arrow a permanent fixture, because initially it's hidden. You just have to click here and then it appears, and you can then group. So if you know you have certain forms while you're organizing your folders, you know that you have certain forms that are static, and maybe you don't remember what their names are, you can hit this arrow so that now you're going to see all of your dynamic forms, or if I want to see all of my static forms. So that is something that you have at your disposal. We will be providing a title to this. And like I said, making it a permanent function. Something else that Henry did call out this morning. So right now, for this file structure, let me go back up here since I've got a sort on here. So right now, if I wanted to move this equipment portal lotto form into my portal demo folder, the method to do that is what I've shown. Check it, go to actions, say I want to move it. Eventually, we will take it to the point where you'll be able to just drag and drop. But for any of you who are wondering if that's something that might come down the roadmap, that's something Henry's looking into. But this, for right now, is how you can go about organizing your forms. So, any questions?
I have a question.
And
So when we move forms under folder, the links to these forms are not going to change, right?
no, ma'am, they will not.
Okay, that is perfect.
Nope.
So nothing will be changed on both sides. It's only moving from one location to another.
Correct.
Okay.
It is no different, Zoya, than if you set up a file structure on your desktop and you moved forms around. The form itself will not change. Now, yes, I understand that takes it a step further because that the form in Form Engine is linked to your QuickBase, but no, it's not going to change the URL, the template ID. None of that is going to change. You are just organizing how where they live on your library.
That is great. This is perfect. Thank you.
Yay!
Yay.
Awesome!
Yeah, now we can organize all our forms. It
You
will be
have a lot of
really,
forms.
yeah, we
You
do.
were one that I figured would probably definitely see a plus side to this. So, um, any other questions? Okay.
I would just add one thing, Ashley. You know, you're talking about you know, clicking and sorting on the form type, static or dynamic, but you can also, you know, click on any of the titles and sort ascending or descending. Any of the column headers. I mean, I say titles. That one's title. There's title, description. I know that some of the builders, some of our customers have been using description with kind of categorization to group forms, either title or description, and then you sort on that, and then they come up together. And that was just, you know, the best that could be done before we had folders. But you know, now we have folders, and you know, should support a lot higher level of a, a lot bigger number of forms, documents, other assets that you build in the form engine, and keeping those organized.
Absolutely. Yes. Thank you for calling that out, Scott. Because yeah, for me particularly, I use owner a lot because we have so many people, well, our organization Advantage working in this library. So I use owner a lot. That's a great point to call out. Thank you.
Yeah.
Mhm. Um, Well, if there are no other questions regarding the demo for today, I know Scott has something that he was going to share with everyone. And then I did want to call out, so we are going to be doing some background, and Scott, at any point, correct me if I'm saying this wrong, but we are making some updates to Form Engine, nothing that is going to impact anyone outwardly, as far as nothing that you will see. It's all background in the code. It's the tool itself, some security updates, things like that. And because of that, when we push that release, Form Engine will automatically log everyone out. So we internally at Advantage have been talking about when would be the best time to do that. And we are going to push that release across tomorrow evening, um, at midnight. So tomorrow at midnight, Friday at 12 a.m., whatever you want to call it, we're going to push that release. So, you know, for those of you who are actively in Form Engine, you know that, you know, you can be signed in doing something, go home for the evening, come back the next day, and continue to work on whatever you're working on. Just know that tomorrow night you will automatically be logged out, and it's just part of us pushing this update through. So I will be sending out an email to let everyone know that, but I also wanted to call that out during office hours.
Yeah, if you say you get up the next morning and say, "Why did it log me out?" That's
Yeah,
why. So it
it's
was a
it,
system update that we
yes,
don't have to do. In fact, I think this is the first time we've had to do this.
yes,
Yeah. So
it
almost
is.
everything, you know, all the releases that you guys get, in fact, things like the new folder system. Um, Ashley, if you refresh that screen, there'll be banners at the top that we only have up there for about a minute. One of them is about the folders. So you see template folders are live up there at the top, and then you know, page view is now the default on all new static forms. So there's those for you. But you know, the new features, I'd say 99% of the new features that hit don't require even either logging out or even refreshing necessarily refreshing
The
the browser
browser.
tab. They just happen under the hood, and you all just have new functionality on a pretty continuing basis. We're releasing new features or fixes updates, every week. So we're not announcing everything. Some of the bigger ones you'll see in banners up there at the top. You also in Ashley's emails. But there's a good number of things that you'll just start to, you see the product, it'll just work better. It'll be a little smarter. It'll be a little simpler. There'll be some things. So we're constantly working on it because we're in it day in and day out too, building, doing demos, doing proof of concepts, helping new customers get on board, building things for ourselves, assets for ourselves, in some cases, building things for customers on a services basis. So it's just, kind of continuous. We're in there with you as builders every day. And so any friction that you feel, we feel right there with you. And any new functionality that you say, wow, wish it could do this, it's chances are it's on the roadmap or we're actively working on it. And we're getting to things as fast as we can.
Yep, absolutely. So just make sure tomorrow, if you're working on anything before you leave, click save. And then, like I said, there will be an email that goes out because we do have people internationally that are using Form Engine. So they will be impacted at a different time in their day. But for those of you in the States, the update will happen at midnight tomorrow, Eastern time. So just make sure you save your work before you go home and be prepared to log back in Friday morning. So
would there be any issue on the existing form if someone is not trying to log in, like something that is already set up for the link? Would that be impacted, or you don't think
no,
so?
there will be no issues with links or anything like that. It's just people are going to be logged out of the library. So
the builders, the builder interface
builders will be logged out. Does that answer your question, Deep?
Yes, that is.
So if someone is working on the other side of the world at I can't think of a time zone. And that's why I will be sending out the email during the day. They are going to hit a point where, yes, whatever their time is, that equates to midnight tomorrow Eastern State time, they'll get logged out. So, but it's just the builder. It's not going to impact links. It's not none of that. So forms will still be working. If somebody wants to submit a form tomorrow at midnight, they can submit a form tomorrow at midnight.
And actually, to show the thing that I want to show, if you on your screen, if you don't get out yet, so under your name, the drop down in the upper right, if you'll just do that drop down, right? Okay, so two things. So what I'm about to show is going to show up in this menu soon, and it's monthly usage reporting. So that, a number of you have asked for, I would say in most cases, as long as you're within your limits or, when it's an annual subscription limit, then it doesn't really matter. It's almost like some of your QuickBase entitlements. If you have a certain number of file attachment space or a certain number of apps you can build, as long as you're not going to exceed it, it doesn't really matter what it is or how much you're using, because you're not using too much, or you're not at risk. You're well within limits. So for most of you, that's the case. Although some of you are growing pretty quickly, and so we monitor that. And we've been asked for, usage reporting for some time now, and it's been a challenge to build that out, but we have it just about finished out. And where it's going to live, it's not ready yet, but it's soon. Call it maybe in a week or so, but it goes through the end of the month anyway. So basically, when we put it out there, it's going to go. Your reporting, when you render it, is going to go. The report, I'll show an example, is going to go through the end of October. Until we cross over to the end of November, and then it will update. And what's going to happen is there's going to be a link here in this drop down that will always render your most current report. But it's also portable, so it's a URL. So we wanted to build it into the product for you, but then also realizing that there could be managers or stakeholders there in your organization that are also interested in the usage reporting, and they're not going to log in. they're not builders. They're not going to log into this interface. Well, you're going to be able to take that link and send it to anybody that you want to be able to see that reporting in your organization. And we do have some of those that are non-builders, stakeholders, account owners who say, I want to see the reporting. So that link is going to be portable, and it's going to be a single link that is always persistent. It's going to be a form engine form, as you can imagine. And it's a good example of a use of form engine form. And I'll show you, or portal here in a second. But also, actually, if you log out there, I want to make a comment about what the builders are going to see. So yeah, like Friday morning when you come in, you'll see this screen, and it'll be logging in again. We log in regularly because we bounce back and forth between customer realms and our own realm, but it probably defaults for you to your short realm name, and then even for me, it defaults to username and password. So all I have to do is hit authorize QuickBase access. I don't have to type in I think my browser memorizes my username, QuickBase, my email and password there. If you're on, so it'll either memorize yours and you'll just be able to sign in, or if you're on single sign-on, remember that you need to go over here to, from one of your user tokens in your QuickBase app or account, right? And then you log back in and you'll be back into your normal dashboard here. So just want to show that real quick, actually, since folks might forget if they're on, like, say, single sign-on. How do I get back into this if they've been logged in for a long time? So
Absolutely.
actually, I can share my screen and show what that reporting is going to look like. Here we go. Let me hide some stuff. This is actually live, or this is a real report. You can see your company name, organization name will be there. This is someone's, but we've hidden it to protect their data. What you're going to see is your version of this. And again, it's going to give the report date here. It's going to give your current subscription period. And this is going to be unique to each of you because most of you have different kind of annual subscriptions. Starts at different times of the year, different months. So this particular subscription starts in February 25, goes through 26. So what this is going to show is February 25 monthly billable transaction numbers through current, which is the most recent month. I say current, it's going to be full months because partial months just didn't buy as much. So these are going to be full months for your subscription year. It'll start in the month that your subscription period starts and then go through the end. So it will start with 1 month. If this were the first month of your subscription, next month you would have 2, next month you would have 3. You can see 2 categories of transactions here. One is file generation, which is if you're using the generate PDF and you're kind of independently generating PDF files and storing them in file attachment fields, then that's what that line represents. And then form submissions are if you're sending forms out, someone's completing it and submitting it. And then a lot of times that generates a PDF as well, and it's not double counted. It's only one form submission, whether or not you keep or generate the PDF. These file generations are separate kind of file, PDF or file generation. And so you get these that add up in these 2 categories by month to call it year to date. And in total versus your annual subscription limit. So this is 32,112 transactions so far in this customer's account or usage compared to the 50,000 a year that they have as their limit. You can kind of see 66% here. That's those numbers divided. It's a little strange because, this top number is year to date, and then this bottom number is full year. So you have to think, okay, I'm 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 months into it, I've used 66%. Well, you're well within limits, right? I wouldn't expect this account to, for instance, exceed their subscription limit. And they probably have room for more use cases, actually, even though they're using it at a fairly high level. You can see some of the notes here. These notes are live. This is a dynamic form engine form or dashboard. Has multiple elements, this custom reporting that's in it, this custom graph, some of these images, some live notes. This will change. So we can change this centrally. All of you will render your version of these inside the form engine. The current notes will come out with each month. They may change from month to month. So you can render these, you can render this form anytime from inside the form engine or from that portable link that you can save anywhere, share with anyone that needs to see this reporting of your usage. If you save the PDF, you can save the PDF with history if you want. It's really going to be kind of redundant for 12 months, meaning you'll have month 1, then 2 months, then 3 months, then 4 months, all the way up to 12 months. And so it's going to repeat the previous months, the first months in your subscription, all the way up to month 12. Then you will have a full year. And then you will have renewed and you'll start over again with month 1. And we played with the idea of showing more months, but it crosses subscription years. So it sort of messes up the numbers as far as what are you comparing? Nothing this customer certainly used. They've been using Form Engine for probably 2 years now. They have plenty of data behind this in January of 2025 and such, but it really doesn't count against their subscription. This is their current subscription year. This is the only thing that counts. Can I answer any questions or any thoughts or comments?
Can one be able to drill down to say what applications or tokens are using this? Like if I have 10 applications or 5 applications using it, would I be able to drill down to see where it is?
No, we've got some more development to do. That's not there's more engineering that's needed to create that. That data doesn't live anywhere today. It's got to be pieced together from multiple things. So it's not just like extra categories or drill down like parent-child. It's not like that. That detail does not exist today. The pieces of it do, so that we can construct it. But we talked about this today, Dee. Literally, what does that look like? So we're not sure how, where this gets prioritized. So we get it that you'd say, oh, well, it'd be nice to know, like, let's say by app. So then this actually, and I don't think this is going to get dynamic. I mean, maybe over time, but that'd be a tremendous amount of work to produce something that's dynamic here. But what we could do, for instance, you might say, let's say if it's by application, there could be application 1 and the file generation form submissions for that application, or maybe that template, application 2, the generations and submissions, the application 3, generation submissions. It starts to get a little busy if you've got lots of forms or lots of applications. And I mean, and I understand for some customers, it could be useful, but I would say the large majority, it's almost like getting the details of your file attachment uses in QuickBase. If you're within your limits, it doesn't really matter. So that's where we were kind of weighing the criticality of this and how far do we need to go. But we're happy to be able to release this here soon. And I think it's pretty much about be good in your being comfortable that you're within your limits of your current subscription. And we look at this at the end of the year. We look at it through the year as well. But to see, because let's say this customer looks pretty steady on a month-to-month basis. Some customers are growing pretty rapidly, so they're growing toward the end of their subscription year. They're digitizing more, automating more forms, documents, other transactions into Form Engine. And so the numbers are growing toward, to meet or exceed their current subscription. They may need a larger subscription, the next larger subscription next year, for instance. And ideally, that's the way that it goes, because organizations of any size, what we're seeing is to have, substantial opportunity to automate in this area, the area that the Form Engine and QuickBase lets you do. And it's just a question of how quickly, do you get that automation for your organization with the tools that you have in hand?